Hello again, it's Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard, and that is a 9x12 canvas over here. These are colors that are left over from eons ago, even Atezas. That's a turquoise. That's a turquoise that had some other turquoise added to it. That looks like it had, that's purple metallic. That's got some golden iridescent pearl fine in it mixed in. But I always say, if you're going to start, go to your closet, look at the colors you want, and then go shopping for your colors. Most of these have been shaken. I'm going to make a small ring pour cup. I may not ring pour. I've got other colors over here that I need to use. These are not my favorite colors. This is some dioxidine purple. That is pretty much my favorite color. Well, in the family of my favorite colors. So I'm going to grab some white, because it's a really good idea if you're going to pour a ring pour cup. If you start with a little white in between every layer, and I'm going to see how I feel about what I get as I go along. That is so liquidous. Okay, I'm going to give that some gold, just because I can. That's a 24 karat gold from Deco-Art. I'm not going to do the white between every layer, and I might like to put a little black in there. I might even put a little black enamel in there. And the only reason I say black enamel is because it's an acrylic enamel and it will help other things sell. Whether I want cells or not, I'm not sure. It's also not open, so let's grab a different color. That's not open either. Alright, so I'm not supposed to add black. I found one that's sort of kind of open. So we've got a little bit of black in there. Now I'm just going to continue on. Whoops. I'm getting what I'm getting. It's not going in even distributions. But it's going to be pretty, it looks like. Luck of the draw. That one's not even coming out. So I'm just going to pour that in there. Oftentimes, it does not matter if you put things in level or even configurations. You're going to get something cool, especially if you know what you're doing when it comes to pouring it out. And even if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to pouring it out, you could probably still get something cool, because I'm going to show you my favorite overlapping looping. Maybe not even mine, maybe everybody's. A lot of people do this. Instead of a ring pour in the center of the canvas, going around rotating in a circle, you just overlap. That's a weird color. It's going to be pretty anyway. I'm determined. And these colors needed to be used up. Some of these bottles are reused and they're not the easiest things to use. This is not a good cap to recycle. You can take it apart though, fortunately. Alright, so last but not least, I'm going for the gold again. I say that, but then I want purple, and I see purple and I'm going to have some purple. Never mind, I lied. There we go. Alright, so this is probably more paint than I need. You could spread paint on your canvas, and maybe I should do that just because it will make other paint spread more easily. So I'm just going to put a little, this is mixed with pouring medium, and you can find that recipe below. Show more underneath the video in the description. Let me move some things out of my way. This is an OXO omelet turning spatula. I definitely recommend these. They're available on the Amazon link under the link tree, which is available when you click show more under the video. You'll see that. Now lots of people do ring pours right in the center of their canvas, and then they tip the canvas all around, and if you are familiar with pouring at all, then you know that. But if you're not, I just put a whole bunch of colors right in my cup. I'm thinking I could use a pair of glasses. Oh, and there they are. Excellent. Alright, so I have a really hard time telling the difference between white paint and white canvas. I'm going to tap that around the edge because I can see that there's a bead of paint, but it hasn't gone completely over. And I'm not going to worry about doing my edges yet, because I expect I can always tap it into place with my finger if it drips. I do often use edge catchers. I will try to not. Edge catchers are just plastic sheets. You could even probably use cardboard. And they're usually clear. Not that you can see that, but they're usually clear. And mine come from the front panel of a 16 by 20 inch value pack, 5-pack of 16 by 20 inch canvases from Artist Loft. I usually get them at Michael's. So I'm going to start by pouring, and then I'm just going to waggle it back and forth and ribbon pour it and make a pattern. Boy, that green is so strong. Wow, that's amazing. So at this point, if I think that I'm not going to have enough of what I want, I'll add something else. But right now, I just want to do this. And I am going to grab another edge catcher because I don't always tell the truth about what I'm going to do. That's too pretty to use. That's kind of cool. I can use that. So I want to get some of these paints back out of my way. So I got elbow room because I really don't have elbow room here. And remember, these paints, some of these paints are well more than a year old. I'm going to tip my paint and stretch my paint in all directions as I feel like it. We got some incredible cells popping up here. Not sure how I'm going to be able to keep those, but I'll give it a shot. The more you stretch it, the more you get larger cells, but at a certain point in time they break open and then you don't get to keep them anymore. So I'm just watching the flow of my paint. And once I flow it up in this direction where the heavy paint is right now, then I can also flow it back down again. And you can see that your pattern is stretching in the direction that you're flowing your paint. There's some patience involved in a slow flowing process, and I'm not going to claim that I have a lot of that. So if you flow it all back down to the middle, then I can head it off in the direction that I want it to go again. And the reason I keep an edge catcher or a paint catcher handy is because I can pick that up and push it against the side of the canvas and let my paint flow to it. And I could even do that if it were on the tile that I'm using on top of my turntable. And because I'm not going to keep that paint, I'm not going to worry about that paint right this second. I'm probably going to use that paint again. I got a right bunch of oil slick colors and I think they're gorgeous. I'm so feeling fortunate that this is turning out so nicely. What I'm going to do, I think, is take this paint and I'm just going to tip my canvas right up into it and cover the edge. And then I'm going to tap it off again. So now my edge is covered and you can see that. I could even leave that right like it is and it would be very cool. What I can do is grab one of these that I recommended, the OXO omelet turning spatula, and I can just scoop up the paint that's on the edge catcher or the paint catcher or whatever you want to call it, and because it's so pretty, it's going to be very useful. It also keeps you from pouring away or wasting paint. A lot of people like to pour away paint, and that's okay for them. It's just not okay for me. I'm going to scrape off my spatula. I still got a bunch of paint left in my container, so also check that out. I'm not good at it yet, but I'm getting there. Scrape off some more of my paint. Now I could definitely finish filling in, but I've got plenty of paint on there, I think, so that I may not want to. I kind of like that white. I do think if I take a little bit more paint, put it right over here, that I can just sort of touch over the edge of my canvas and let that paint fall right down and cover that edge. You might want to check at the end. Here's a skewer. Bamboo skewers are really handy. I got a mark there that's just not making me happy, so I'm going to do something with that. Now, I love the skewers for this reason. They can manipulate all kinds of stuff. If you stick it in gently, you can then pull, and you might want to wipe off in between. And I keep a nice cotton studio rag. I think it used to be some sweatpants or a sweatshirt. And as I nudge something toward the edge, I also am giving myself some paint to fall down over, at which point I can just touch my edge and be covered. And that end is covered. You can also run your finger down where you've already tipped your painting and run it along underneath the edge and pick up all that extra color and just tap it against the side of your canvas. I'm not somebody who uses gloves. If you are using enamel in your work, get to the bucket of water you're going to be rinsing your hands off in. You don't necessarily want to use the sink because paint congeals and sticks to pipes even when the water is running. So use a bucket. Find a way to put that someplace in some gravel or some dirt or something. I'm kind of liking that white corner. I don't think it's perfect yet. I kind of want to I kind of don't want to change any of this, to tell you the truth. So I'm going to take the paint that I've got left and I'm just going to waggle what looks like a little caterpillar right up the edge there. Gorgeous colors. Wow. I wasn't super stoked to begin with, but I'll tell you what, I'm pretty happy now. I will be cleaning off my work surface in the bucket in the water. I keep a large rectangular bin. It's even got a crack in the corner, so I recycle. So because I moved most of the rest of this paint already, the paint that I'm moving now isn't going to move. It's going to move. This is going to move a little faster. I see that there's something in there. It's nice to have a pair of sharp tweezers to pull things out of your paint. What a gorgeous bunch of cells that is. Wow, and I love that stripy corner. And my pattern isn't changing too awful much, which is making me pretty happy. I'm still going to take a little edge catcher and try and let that paint go right over the side. I even put it down on the edge catcher and then move it back. Alright, so I liked how that paint was before, and I think if I tip my canvas back in the direction that it came from, that I can get a lot of it to reassociate itself in the position that it was in. And that is just terrific. I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I hope you join me again. I have over 1,360 videos organized by genre and by 100, and they are on created playlists under all playlists on my YouTube channel. If you're looking for commercial-free entertainment, you could still probably find, I hope, cross your fingers, find my Phoenix Rising Priscilla Batzell art channel. I'm going to throw these things in the bucket. The edge catchers I usually let the paint stay on because eventually they become really cool, and I'm going to cut them up for collage. I'm going to torch this. Whoa! I just changed my tank, so I got a lot of gas in there and it's really heavy. These tanks, torch heads are like 50 bucks from artresin.com, but it's so worth it because they don't clog and they're very adjustable. And it makes me feel like I'm in control, and I like that. But the tanks are only $5 and they last about 6 months as opposed to the butane torches that people are still using. I went through 5 butane torches and umpteen $5 canisters of butane before I figured out to stop doing that. A lot of times it's a really good thing to have something underneath your canvas, especially if it's small, so you can prop it up. I use cottage cheese lids. I'm not going to do this now except for the fact that I want to keep this painting from sticking to the tile because I'm going to take a photograph of the wet version so I can have a thumbnail for my video. What a wonderful outcome that was. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Make sure to check the link tree underneath, show more underneath the video, and see my Teespring clothing, which is all over print leggings and all over print t-shirts. And just remember, you can always use your skewer to make small adjustments, or even large ones if you have to. So what else should I tell you? I do sell my artwork. If you know somebody who's got an interest in supporting my channel, that's the best way to do so. Underneath the link tree, you're going to find Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram links. I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much. I want to say how much I appreciate all the donations from people who've kept me painting all this time, and how much I appreciate your wonderful comments. You keep my morale boosted. If you would like to enter the drawing that happens once a month, look on the end screens of any video in the last 20 seconds and you will find an exhibition video that shows you what that month's drawing prizes are. And in order to get into that drawing, you have to use Pinterest, excuse me, you have to use PayPal or Patreon. Patreon is about to start charging tax, or somebody's going to charge tax to Patreon, so payments won't be quite the same as they used to be. They'll be increased by 7 to 11%, which I find kind of rude. But so PayPal will work if you want to make a donation to keep me painting. I really appreciate that. Also, shopping my Amazon link at no added cost to you helps me out. And there's all kinds of paint, canvases, cameras, tents, all kinds of great tools there. So if you're interested in that, please go check out that. And also under the link tree, you will find Facebook groups. Expressionist Art Studio Gallery Appreciation Group is for students. And if you go there, you will see tomorrow's video advertised. Also on Facebook are Expressionist Art Studio Gallery Totes and More, where there's a Shop Now button that'll take you to Fine Art America and Pixels.com. And you can also find Fine Art America and Pixels.com. And I have face masks on there. You just have to, once you get to Fine Art America and Pixels.com, just scroll down the page and you'll see all the products that are offered. Wow, these cells are awesome, and there's no silicone in here, as far as I can remember. I don't think so. But my paint pouring recipe is under the video, and it has Floetrol will often help make cells. And I'm just about out of my Deco-Art pouring medium, so I'm tear in my eye. But here's me hoping that Hobby Lobby will be carrying the large jugs again, because I buy 32 ounce size and I'm craving it like crazy. I just mixed up my last colors that I could manage. So I love you guys, and there's 87,000 of you on Expressionist Art Studio Gallery, Priscilla Batzell. And there's only 400 and some on Phoenix Rising, but that might change. You never know. And until I get 1,000 people there, I can't run commercials anyway. So enjoy. I will see you anon. I love you all so much. Hope you keep coming back for more. And don't forget this playlist with 1,360 videos, so you can binge watch if you want to. If you have questions, please just ask me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you. See you soon. Bye for now. Priscilla out.